Good morning. Good morning. God is good. God is good. Giving honor and praise to the God is in my life. Without him, I am nothing. I just want to get on here and say something. I'm tired of this narrative of how people um, manipulate scriptures to fit their situation. This one here in particular, I see so many people when it comes to divorce specifically, that people will bring up Mosaic Law as if it trumps God's law. So let me give you the foundation of God's law. God said he hates divorce. There were no asterisks or footnotes. He didn't say I hate divorce except for these situations. He literally said I hate divorce. Okay. So I'm tired of people saying Moses permissed. Put Moses permissed. Well, listen. Moses did permiss. Is Moses God? No. We still know what God's will is, even though Moses permissed divorce for the reason of adultery. But let me tell you what God's will is. That marriages last. And when the men asked Jesus, why did Moses permit divorce? Jesus said, do you not remember in the beginning? It was not so. Meaning, that ain't what my father said. But Moses permits it because the hardness of your hearts. So there was an instance of Jesus saying, listen, God's will is this. Moses permits this. Okay, let's go to the next one. When the men caught the woman in the act of adultery, and they brought her to the courtyard, and told Jesus they had caught her, Mosaic Law basically said that she had to be executed by being stoned. What did Jesus do? What did Jesus do? He said, ye without sin, cast the first stone. Why? Because God's will wasn't that she be stoned. Mosaic Law said that she had to be stoned. There are two instances where we can see that Mosaic Law had no bearing when you shine it next to God's law and what God's will is. So let me go even deeper to get to my whole point of making this post. I'm shining a light on doing God's will. And Jesus said, many will come to me and say, Lord, Lord, will not see heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father. Yes, and the will of the Father is marriages last. Under all circumstances, short of you being beat upside your head and violent. Moses permits divorce. God showed that even in that situation, he wanted it to last because he told Jose to go back to his adulterous wife, Gomer. So if we know God's will trumps Mosaic Law, those are two situations right there where Mosaic Law took an L. You know, Jesus said God didn't say that, but Moses did it because of the hardness of your heart. And Jesus said, hey, I know Moses' law said she got to be stoned. You without sin cast the first stone. And then he said she was not condemned for that and to sin no more. Ain't God good? So listen, the ones that do the will of the Father will see heaven. But we have this thing called flesh where we want to do our way, or we want to do God's way our way, and it don't work that way. So I implore you to examine yourself and put it in God's hand. And God's will is in the Bible. You know, I just hate how people use Mosaic Law as an excuse to leave marriages. Well, then, should your husband that you're leaving, or wife that you're leaving, also be stoned according to Mosaic Law? Are you going to have them stoned to death? No, you're not. So then stop using Mosaic Law as if it supersedes God's will.